Welcome back to another Short Legacy League, where we have Eldrazi Stompy versus Dimir Reanimator again. A huge thank you to the Patreon supporters who are helping the league and YouTube channel. If you would like to become a supporter, please click on the link in the show notes. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Back to an amazing Dimir Reanimator versus Eldrazi Stompy matchup. We have Devour of Destiny as a pre-game effect from Connor. I have no idea what the card does, so I just get up and walk away. And then I decide that I'm probably going to play. But if you've come here to see some action-packed, just amazing Magic played from my side of the table, I'm sorry to tell you, I punted this entire match. And I'll just point out all the times, now that I've edited the video and gone back through and regretted almost every single play that I did, you'll get to see it now firsthand. And it just goes to show that no matter how many times and how many reps you have with a deck, or how few reps you have with a deck, you can just absolutely get pummeled all the time. And it's not pretty. I actually look forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comments about how poorly I played this match. So, with no further ado, here we have a Thought-Knot Seer coming into play, me fetching, immediately pushing it away so I can draw a card, and then letting him see my hand anyway. I do have the double reanimate, so in my mind, I'm thinking, alright, cool, we'll just reanimate this Thought-Knot Seer, and we'll get to look at his hand, and it'll be cool. We also have to reanimate, so if we have another land, we can reanimate our troll as well, because he kind of just gave it to us. Now, he did take my other land from me, so by taking my troll, and it exiles it, so I don't get to put it in my graveyard. But I do get to reanimate his Thought-Knot Seer, and then take a peek at his hand, and we have another Thought-Knot Seer. And in hindsight, I probably should have taken the Chalice of the Void. My thought process was, I will take him off of mana, and then I'll reanimate that other Thought-Knot Seer. But I didn't do that. I wastelanded the Eldrazi Temple instead of the Ancient Tomb, so there's punt number one. And he finds Lotus Petal, and he's able to play the Chalice anyway. He would have been able to play it either way, but he had been down more cards. So here's where the special teams plays really start to kick off here, and that is me just passing the turn and not attacking for 4 for some reason. So there's 4 life not taken from Connor, and then there's another 4 life not taken from Connor, and he's just going to keep building it up. We found a Wasteland, so we do get to Wasteland him, or I can bounce the Chalice at end step. There's another 4 life not hit, so that's 12, which would have put him at 4 life, which means those Ancient Tomb taps right there would have killed him, or there at least wouldn't have been it heralds it all on the battlefield. So completely just forgot how this game works, and played atrociously. Now I do have to reanimate my hand, so I could go get another Thought-Knot Seer and potentially start attacking again. And I choose not to do that. I choose to ponder instead, or brainstorm. And then I brainstorm lock myself. So now we're just super far ahead. And now I'm just cantripping for no reason whatsoever. Not being a strong boot player, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing with all these cantrips in my hand. But I'm pretty sure it's not what I just did. I didn't take advantage of the chance with the Chalice not being on the battlefield to actually do things. I did find an Entomb, but with that being said, the Chalice comes back on 1, so it doesn't really matter. I do have a Frog in hand, which would have mattered if I would have been attacking him the whole time with a Thought-Knot Seer, and I think this would have been a completely different game. But here we are, me losing horribly and wishing I'd have done it better or differently. And we'll play a Frog. Found the Atraxa. Doesn't really matter to throw it into the bin because the reanimate doesn't do anything. And we're going to pass back over to Connor. And he's just going to take some more damage, play another Gloating Freshstriker, and that's going to trigger that one. I'll take a damage, and it just kind of gets out of hand from here. We see me taking another damage, and if he has any other color spells to cast, now's a good time to do it. To note, still didn't attack with my Thought-Knot Seer last turn. I don't know what I was scared of. I don't know why I wasn't attacking with it. Even when I was reviewing the game, I, for the life of me, can't figure out why I wasn't attacking with the Thought Knot. Maybe I just thought it was like an artifact that doesn't do anything or something. But it did not go well for me, and not very happy about it. And I can at least jump the frog here, pitch my entire hand, take him down to 8 life, but there's not going to be enough damage. Or take him down from 8 life and do, let's see, I believe I get to do 5 damage here, 6 damage. So push 5 out, puts him at 2. But unfortunately, the damage is already done. Connor is only at 2. And any of those attacks that I missed with the Thought Knot Seer, the game would have been over now. But because I didn't do that, we're going to lose. And I think we lose like basically right here, because he can just get rid of my Thought Knot Seer and kind of crush me. Oh, it finds a Cradle as well, which gives him infinite mana for the most part. And he has the Devour that he can eat my frog, and then, or he can eat my Thought Knot Seer. I think it's colored though. It's a colored source. So, yeah, just not great place for me here. And I'll just let you finish watching it here. I don't really have much else to say about this particular match. There's another Glaring Frustrator, which is going to knock me for 2. It's going to put 2 more spawns into play. And then he can play a Devour, and that's going to bang me over the head for additional 3. And he's going to be able to swing out with everything he has. I'm going to play a Daze. Hoping just to eat a little bit more mana here. Which I think he happily pays for, and then just goes to town on me. But again, it's just one of those matches where I wasn't paying attention. I thought I was in a good spot at the beginning, and I think I was. I just wasn't taking advantage of it, and just got run over by spaghetti monsters. And these matches aren't really that great to start with, in my opinion, unless there's 2 high-skilled players across from each other. Unfortunately, there's only 1 high-skilled player at this table, and then there's me. So, got a lot of attacks here, and that will be game. See you in game number 2. After that embarrassing round 1, or game 1, I should say, then welcome back. If you're not, then you don't have to listen to me talk anymore, and that's just as good. Alright, so Connor's going to lead off on a Devour of Destiny and 2 Leyline of the Voids to completely brick my main deck plan, which is to reanimate big baddies and beat him to death with them. So, that being turned off is not great. Don't play Force of Vigors, and I only play 2 Brazen Borrowers, which I did bring in an extra Brazen Borrower out of the sideboard for something like this. The downside is he also plays Chalice of the Void, so he can Chalice me, and then he can Leyline of the Void me, and then I'm having a bad day. So, I'm going to fetch it in step. I'm going to scry, look at the top card, I like what I see, pick it up, and play my Wasteland. So, 1 Wasteland down, and he's going to pop his 2 petals for a Kozilek's command, creating 2 cronies, as well as scrying 2 and drawing 2. But I'm going to take a quick peek at a brainstorm, see if there's anything in there I like, and let him have his way with me, unfortunately. So, command resolves, 2 Eldrazi boys out, and he likes what he saw on top of his library, and he gets to draw 2, essentially. So finds another land, and has his Eldrazi boys as well. Reminds me that my graveyard is actually exiled. I comply, and then play another land. So I guess I did like what I saw there, and a pass back over to Connor. Me try to make something out of this game, holding Reanimate in my hand, not great. I'm going to cycle a Troll at end step, find another land, and pick up a Ponder. That's nice. So we'll ponder, see if we find anything worthwhile in there. And it looks like a Brainstorm, Animate Dead, and a land. I'm going to fetch something away here. Play another Brainstorm. Not quite sure what I'm digging for, but I did find a Wasteland, which will allow me to Wasteland him for the turn. I also have a Consign of Memory in hand, so I can turn off some casts. So, same dance, different song. Actually, same song, different dance, maybe. Scries 2, makes 2 dudes, and he gets to draw a card. And then he gets to draw a card for his turn, and I'm hoping that my mana denial plan has worked well. Finds an Ivugan, which is basically like finding an Eldrazi Temple with those 2 Eldrazi spawns out, and here we go with the Fleshraker. I do have a Fatal Push in hand, so if I'm able to get something activated, we can start working through it that way. Find a Reanimate, not great. And I think we have to pass it back over with... Oh, I have a Brazen Borrower. So we can bounce the Fleshraker, which will make his Eldrazi spawn. It's not quite as good. And he's going to have to just replay that Fleshraker one more time. Fortunately, I've already burned my Wasteland and I burned a Fetch. So I don't have a way to turn this Fatal Push on. But I do have a way to consign the memory of his Fleshraker, getting into the graveyard, and then I can use my Reanimate spell to start pushing damage with that bad boy, even though I have no colorless spells in my deck. Here we go. Another Reanimate. Take that Fleshraker. And then we're going to go to Pound Town the following turn. I actually remember I can attack with those creatures this game, which would have been really relevant last game. Finds a Petal. If you see if he has another Fleshraker ready to go, he does not. And there we go. I remember how to turn him sideways. It's not my first day anymore. It's my second. Like I said, not that exciting. Chalice on 0 is an interesting play because I don't play any 0 drops. But I imagine he's just probably trying to get something out of his hand or get an artifact or something. And here we go. Another 5 life off of him, putting him down to 13. And the Wasteland did do their job by turning off his mana at the moment. Another Fleshraker. I can attack and see if he wants to block, and then I can always reanimate it again. Let's see what I decide to do here. Alright, so he's backing it up a little bit. And it just passes back. Alright, no Fleshraker for him this turn, which means I'm free to attack for 5 more, putting him down to 8. Still nothing going on in my hand except a whole bunch of Fatal Pushes that I can't use because I don't have a way to turn Revolt on. Finds a Cavern of Souls. And Fleshraker, it is no 0 drop at the moment, but we can bounce it back to his hand, basically time walking him for the turn, and we get to go again. Chose not to bounce it. Find an Entomb, which is also dead weight. Alright, we are at 2 life. So my flyer, or 3 life. I thought I attacked for 5. Yeah, he was at 8. So we're at 3. Okay, so my Brazen Borrower still puts in work here. And now let's see if he's able to cobble something together. He's got a Thought-Knot Seer targeting me. I think I choose to Brazen Borrower now. That way he can't take it with the Thought-Knot Seer. Okay. I guess that was a good play. It turns off all of his... Oh, okay, yeah. I'm trying to decide if that's all I want to do. I think it's the right move to Fatal Push the little spawn and then bounce back the Fleshraker, knowing he doesn't have another land or he hasn't played another land. And then I show him all of my Fatal Pushes, all my 1-drops. So I had a total of 4 Fatal Pushes in my hand, Reanimate and Entomb. So nothing was going to stick too well. And he sacked, he has 1 colorless mana floating. He sacked the spawn token. Another Fleshraker in play. I do have the 3 damage in the air. And I just go ahead and send it. And he packs it up. See you in game number 3. Third and final game. I'm on 7. Connor's on 6. Connor on the play. Leads off with the Leyline of the Void. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. If you have not hit the like and subscribe button, you should probably do that too. And I always love comments because they're lots of fun to answer. Positive or negative, they're still fun. But after game number 2 there, where I actually remembered how to play Magic, we did win. And I think it would have been the same for us if we would have also played correctly in game number 1. Connor leading off on a pretty strong hand here, and he's going to show me a Sowing Microspawn. Let's see what we're going to do. We're going to allow that to sit on the battlefield, but we are going to stop his land getting ability. So, back over to my side. That was a pretty good exchange, I think. 1 for essentially 3, or 2 maybe. But definitely was able to keep him off of his mana. Now, if he does wasteland me here, turns on my Revolt, chooses not to do that, and away we go. I'm at 17. Got to try and put this together. I have to play my lands out and pass back over. And we're going to see a K command, a Consign to Memory, and so far, only a 2/2 in play. The downside is his deck does just drop bombs repeatedly that I have to answer, and I don't even have that many answers. So float a mana, get my Revolt, Fatal Push the Microspawn, and we're in pretty good shape here. I have a Force of Will, Brainstorm, pitching my last blue card. I do find some lands, which is pretty nice. And I think taking him off of the Wasteland probably would have been smarter. But I think I take him off the Yavimaya, which is probably a mistake. Even the Eye of Ugin would be pretty good, because then he's just down 2 mana. And I do decide to take out the Eye of Ugin, so he is only working with 2 mana at a time. A Frog would be phenomenal here. Still can't find one, but I did find another land I can fetch away, and don't have a Force of Will at the moment. 2 mana, Thought Not Seer. Not much I can do with that. So I just have to let him take a peek at my hand. He takes the Animate Dead. Unfortunately, I don't have a Force of Will for that. Thought Not. Otherwise, we'd be in a better position here. Probably could have held that Brainstorm. Again, one of those things where I don't actually play that many cantrips, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I do know I'm supposed to get a Scry land, though. Look at the top card, see if I like it. And we're going to play another Animate Dead, taking the Microspawn, and now I at least have a blocker for a turn, dropping a land into play, second main phase. And Connor knows how Thought Not Seers how it works by turning it sideways, and finds a Cradle. We're not in great shape here. Pass it back over. No mana for hardcast Force of Will, and the 4 damage is just going to keep coming in. Find a Fatal Push, I believe it's a Fatal Push, and pass back over. Now, it was a Force of Will pitching a Force of Will. That Force pitching Force, and back over to Connor's side. I am still hanging on by a thread here. I definitely need a Frog. That will put me in pretty good shape. Another Thought Not Seer, and Reanimate / Entomb. Takes Reanimate. I think this game is pretty much wrapped up. Thanks for watching. See you next time. If you've been enjoying our content, please be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below.